I'm Jordan Raynor, and this is the Word Before Work. Today we're reading one of my favorite passages, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Here's what it says. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Again, that's the Apostle Paul speaking in 1 Corinthians 15:58. I've said this multiple times throughout this series, but allow me to say it once more. The Great Commission to make disciples is indeed great, but it is far from the only thing that Christ has called us to do. And there are serious problems with treating it as such. We've seen 3 of those problems thus far in this series. Number 1, Jesus never did. Number 2, when we make the Great Commission the only commission, we neglect the other aspects of God's kingdom. And number 3, ironically, this message makes us less effective at the Great Commission. Here's the 4th and final problem with treating the Great Commission as the only commission. It blocks you and me from seeing how our work matters for eternity, how, in the words of the Apostle Paul, our labor in the Lord is not in vain. If the Great Commission is the only commission, then our work only has value when leveraged to the instrumental end of sharing the gospel. And if our work has only instrumental value, then most of us are wasting the vast majority of our time. I don't know about you, but I find that to be terribly depressing, terribly disheartening, because God has set eternity in the human heart. See Ecclesiastes 3:11. To quote the inimitable Alexander Hamilton, we all want to build something that's going to outlive us. We want this life to count for the next one, but if we can't see how that's possible, we lose purpose, hope, and a deep sense of connection with God as we go about our workdays. Leo Tolstoy, the writer of classics like War and Peace, once said that it was this idea that, quote, brought me to the point of suicide when I was 50 years old. It is the question without which life is impossible. It is this: what will come of what I do today or tomorrow? Or expressed another way, is there any meaning in my life that will not be annihilated by the inevitability of death which awaits me, end quote? That is the question, isn't it? What is the purpose of building a business, working a register, or planning an event if those actions don't lead to an immediate opportunity to share the gospel? Sure, they are means of loving our neighbors as ourselves in the present, but beyond the here and now, how do those actions matter on the other side of the thin veil separating heaven and earth? So long as we see the Great Commission as our only commission, it will be impossible to answer that question, which is why I wrote The Sacredness of Secular Work, to help you see how 100% of your time at work has the potential of mattering for eternity, and not just the 1% of the time you spend sharing the gospel. The book releases January 30th, but you can pre-order it today on Amazon or wherever books are sold. Today's devotional only scratches the surface of how God's word connects to our work. If you want to go deeper, sign up for my free 20-day devotional called The Word Before Work Foundations at twbwfoundations.com. These email devotionals are designed to help you gain a rich understanding of the biblical narrative of work, how exactly your work matters for eternity, and what those truths mean for how we ought to work today. You can sign up right now, again, for free at twbwfoundations.com.